Welcome, everybody. It's another edition of The Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim. Hey, yo. Rock and roll, Matty Goldberg.
What's up, boys? Speaking of rock and roll, the theme song. I used to play the drums when I was a little kid, and I was taught drum charts, which is like you learn to read music.
Yeah.
They hired a guy to play that drum part.
You don't think it's pre-programmed?
It could be.
It sounds pretty programmed.
Yeah, you might be right. But I'm like, imagine you get hired to play like a part like that.
Well, it's funny. I just bought it from some website,
Yeah.
Like,
it's a hell of a song.
I bet.
Great.
So there are those guys that do all the royalty-free music and whatnot.
Yeah.
I bet they just come in and just pound out like a bunch of songs in a day.
It could be one dude, too.
Yeah, just doing everything.
Like some Swedish guy with a laptop.
Who also wrote a lot of couple Taylor Swift songs.
Right?
Probably.
Indeed.
Yeah.
As is
Selena
tradition.
Gomez.
What's going on, guys? How was your week? Anything to report?
Both my football teams are disappointing right now, but other than that, pretty good week. Had fun gambling.
Yeah,
it was actually a great weekend of college football.
Great week of college, great week of NFL. Like the daylight savings on a 4-game NFL where it starts at 6:30 in the morning out here.
It worked. It worked. Yeah.
But it's like you have the best game of the day pretty much, or one of the premier games at 6:30 in the morning. I did 4 games,
Right.
like 6:30, then 10, then 1, and then the Bills Bengals. So I was wiped.
I was exhausted.
You were working hard, Matty.
And then Saturday is rough too because they're starting to make better games at 7:30 Pacific time, whereas you'd maybe get Hawaii, maybe one West Coast game.
Well, USC's hitting the meat of their schedule too, so everybody's tuning in to watch them lose.
But they always used to play it. They always used to play at 4:30 here. They're playing a lot more night games. And
it's Pac-12 after dark, baby.
I could always
it's the last year of it. Everyone's trying to just embrace as much Pac-12 as possible.
Yes, enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, they realized to get another 7:30 game in, so you basically have quadruple header with college now. So it's like 9 in the morning, 12:30, 3:30, 4:30 is like the primetime game, and now you got like 2 good games at 7:30.
I can't wait till Rutgers is out here playing a Big Ten game at the Rose Bowl or at the Coliseum at 7:30 at night, which would be like starting a game at 10:30 on the East Coast. Oh, it's gonna be.
Could you imagine like USC traveling to Rutgers for a morning game at like 12 at noon local time?
It happens in the NFL. You see a lot here, like the Cardinals or the Rams will come play an East Coast team, and they'll definitely schedule them at 10 in the morning.
Yeah, they're not going to give a shit. And I think both leagues will use it to their advantage somehow.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it was a good week.
It was a good week. The surprise now is the Ravens.
Where
did they come from? Why are they looking so great, Matty?
Well, I think Lamar Jackson's having a good year. I think they fixed a lot of the offense where they've got some. Beckham has helped a lot. Flowers as a rookie has helped a lot. Their running game has been solid, and their defense has been amazing. And they were the best team 4 or 5 years ago. They got beat in the playoffs in the first round, so they always have talent. It's just the last few years they've kind of been a little above average.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nothing like you can really pinpoint because they were so good 4 or 5 years ago, and they've kind of had a little letdown from there. So it's like they still have a lot of the same nucleus. Lamar Jackson's really good, and their defense has been awesome.
That defense!
The defense is like shut down Seattle and Detroit. And
their defense is thick and
really good.
It's weird. It's like a couple weeks ago we were ready to give the 49ers the championship. We're ready to just it's all over, and now there's a whole bunch of new teams that are the contenders, and then the 49ers are now hey, are they even going to make the playoffs?
Well, we'll see. I think some of the luster's off of Brock Purdy, and In this case, it might just end up getting to a point where, like they were with Jimmy G, where it's like, if we can just hold him and make the quarterback beat us, then we can win. But they don't even have Debo right now, and their offense collapsing. So
yeah, losing Debo is massive, but we'll see what happens with Chase Young and Bosa rushing the quarterback at the same time. That definitely helps.
Do you think they'll get to the quarterback at the same time and kiss?
They could. I mean,
that'd be hot. I'd be here for that.
The other thing is Chase Young is hurt a lot. So
the ultimate Ohio State makeout
he could
session.
get hurt in 4 or 5 big games and it won't even matter. He's not healthy all the time. I would say he only plays 50% of the games. So yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting year. It's I've been following the Patriots. I'm following the Zack Wilson saga.
Bears. back to the Chiefs in Miami playing in the inaugural Adolf Hitler Memorial Bowl in Germany.
Wow.
I think I'm going to come out and say
that's what they called it. I don't know.
That is what they called it. Confirmed.
Yeah, didn't you see it on the TV screen?
I did not. I missed it. Oh.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The Dolphins are probably a gatekeeping team.
Okay. They need a win. You know how you go, a team needs a signature win. The Dolphins need a win, and until they get that win, I can't take them seriously. Like, they got to beat a team that they're not supposed to beat and beat them convincingly. But
what is stopping them, Jim? You are a mega fan.
It's my unbiased take. The defense still isn't like that great. Offensive line needs work. Tua is probably like a decent enough quarterback, but he's not going to be, he can't win through the system. Like it's all the system. And if the system's not working out, Tua can't like improvise and do a lot to kind of make things happen.
What I see is that, obviously on paper, they beat the bad teams. They beat up the bad teams. And the good teams smack them around, and I think that falls to the quarterback because it's his job to elevate everybody. And I don't know if he is that studly dude that's going to elevate them. Yeah, he'll against a bad team they can run circles around them, but the Dolphins defense, let's say they're a little above average. They gave the Chiefs only had 14 points because 7 of them came on a turnover. So they only gave up 14 points. The offense has to do better, especially with all that talent.
And that fumble from Tyreek was brutal. I've come to this point in the season. The Dolphins I kind of find it in every league. The Dolphins are my gatekeeping team, where if you can beat the Dolphins, you can make a deep run in the playoffs. If you lose to the Dolphins, you might not even make the playoffs.
I like that. But now, okay, so let's say the Dolphins didn't start out the season as hot as they did, and you were like, is this still going along with your expectations? I know it was like when they started out, it was like, holy shit, this could be a Super Bowl team.
Coming into the year, all I wanted was to like convincingly make the playoffs. And I definitely think that's still on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
Like making the playoffs is still on the table. And then winning a playoff game would be massive in my eyes. For like where this team's been for the past for many years.
Okay, so you have reasonable expectations. You're not like just down.
They should win the division because I don't like the Bills. I don't like what the Bills are doing right now. The Bills are absolutely underachieving. A lot of injuries. Zack Wilson is a disgrace to football. So
they should win it, but also aside from like the actual really good teams, the only ones that play them tough are the teams in their division.
That's funny. Yeah, the Bengals took it to them. Boy, it's like those teams have like been sort of coming up at the same time, but they look like they're going in different directions now.
Well, the Bengals are starting to peak. Joe Burrow was hurt. He probably shouldn't have played the first few games of the year, and you see them starting to peak. Their defense is very underrated. They got so many weapons. So they're kind of on the up, and then the Dolphins are kind of in this weird spot because next week, I don't know who they're playing, but they could win by 40, and everybody's going to be back on the bandwagon. But until they really beat a good team, I just don't know.
And that's the issue with this Dolphins schedule. So this is kind of their shot for a good team. Their schedule will go in the rest of the season, Maddie. See if you can find any good teams here. There's one great team. One's kind of two great teams then.
Yeah.
Raiders next week.
Yep.
Jets, Commanders, Titans, Jets again. Yep. And then to end the season, pretty good end last 3 weeks. Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills.
That's tough 3 games at the end.
That's a tough 3 at the end. And then I'm hoping actually that the end of the season does matter and the Dolphins shouldn't have the division locked up, because that would actually make those games very watchable and exciting.
I think 10 wins wins that division.
What are they sitting at right now?
What are they at, 5?
They're sitting at 6-3 right now.
Yeah, we are at the midway point too.
Yeah, the Dolphins are sitting at 6-3.
So I think
undefeated at home, by the way, somehow.
4 more wins that division.
All right, guys. So stepping aside, what are your midseason thoughts so far? Teams that are letting you down, teams that are surprising you, players letting you down or surprising you?
NFL, right?
NFL, yeah.
I stand by the fact that if the Browns get if the Browns get decent quarterback play out of Deshaun Watson, this is a deep playoff team.
Okay.
They've been like very surprising to me. Jaguars looking good.
Yeah.
Jaguars looking very impressive. CJ Stroud basically locking up rookie of the year. And then he's putting up. Hey, Luke, I'll ask Maddie when he gets back. How many interceptions do you think CJ Stroud has on the year?
I think he has 1.
He has 1. Uno.
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, it's not. It's really crazy. Yeah. Like Ohio State was such a juggernaut, with all those amazing receivers, you don't know what you're going to get when these quarterbacks go to the league, but he's just finally actually been the one
bonkers numbers.
Yeah. No, he's showing everyone up and it's insane, but it's good to see because this quarterback, it really has this league has really shitty quarterbacks.
It does feel that way this year, right? That's like a takeaway
I feel like
I've had.
A lot of offenses are very terrible.
Like I feel like even like the Chiefs aren't as good as what they usually are. The Eagles are winning, but they're winning in like ugly ways.
Right.
Obviously, like the whole NFC West
game. That was a really fun game though, Cowboys-Eagles.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. Do you think the Cowboys can win next time? I mean, they're driving the ball. No, you don't think so?
Yeah.
Where you keep going, Matty?
Matty's dipping in and out.
What are you doing, Matty? Are you cooking?
No.
Matty, where are you at?
Matty, we're on YouTube now. You can bring it in there, and it'd be a great visual.
Oh yeah, show Matty's all. You'd have to like blur the hell out of that baby.
Right.
Luke, what has surprised you the most so far?
I think like the 49ers sort of like, I know they've had injuries and things, but this felt like a well-oiled machine that could sort of sustain some of these problems. And they don't look like they're doing well at all, when they have any adversity.
It does kind of feel like that Purdy has sort of like hit a wall.
Yeah.
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he can be good. I'm
going to give you my surprise player the rest of the year.
Yes.
Joshua Dobbs. I love that.
That's right. Kudos to him. He came in with 0 practice snaps.
I've watched a lot of Cardinals games.
Yeah.
And he was their MVP by far. Without him, they would be awful. I mean, he could do some things. The Vikings are not done, and he's a hell of a story because of what he did yesterday was incredible. I mean, he didn't even know anything.
I think you get like 2 good games out of him.
I think he's pretty good. I think he's figuring it out.
And he's doing this all without eyebrows.
It's a weird year. It's sadly, it looks like the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Because
you really feel that way?
There's no. Sorry, I'm just doing this real quick because I got to do some shit. But there's no.
What the fuck are you doing?
Like this is the team that's going to win it all.
Then why do you think the Chiefs are going to win then?
Because there's no convincing team.
Maddie, you got to get closer to the mic too, please.
Maddie's doing his business right there.
What is he doing?
I don't know where he went.
Maddie, do I have to call someone?
I just also saw his name now. His name's Little Old Cock. I like that.
It is Little Old Cock.
I like
little
it.
Old Cock. Is it little? Is it old? Is it a
It
cock?
could be both. It's a little bit of everything.
It's little and old. Maddie,
are you there?
Maddie, can you hear me? Oh my God, this is so fucking it's Maddie. I'm not sure whether to be concerned or not. You know, like
he's probably just cooking or something.
I guess. I don't know.
All right. I'm back for good.
There you are, Maddie.
Okay, so here we go.
What are you doing? Why are you being so mysterious, Maddie?
I'll tell you later.
No, I want to know now.
You don't want to know.
That makes me want to know.
I'm making meth in my kitchen.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, Joshua Dobbs, I love. That's like one of the coolest stories of the year. Because I watched Arizona play, and I'm like, Arizona's so bad, but he actually made them somewhat competitive. Yeah. And I can't believe the Jets didn't get him. The Jets would be so much better off with him. It just like following the Patriots the last 15, 20 years, the year they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, there wasn't really that dominating team, and that's kind of when the best quarterback wins the Super Bowl. Right. And Patrick Mahomes still is the best quarterback. So they can kind of coast, and they'll kind of go under the radar because they're in so many big games. It doesn't, the big games don't really faze them right now.
Mm-hmm. I guess as long as they turn it on for the playoffs, they could be fine.
Exactly. But if the Bengals stay healthy, the Bengals are going to be a thorn in their side. The Dolphins aren't ready yet. And then it's like
that was still a close game. That was still a close game.
It's like the thing with the Cowboys too is like they dominate that game this weekend, and then they find a way to lose. It's the same old shit. They just don't get it done, and it's like they play good enough that you're going to keep Dak, you're going to keep the coaches because it was so close and such a good game, but they don't win.
And then they'll get embarrassed in like a week or two.
Yeah. Zack Wilson is the worst quarterback I've seen in a long fucking time. I
saw him get like sacked in exactly the same manner, like 3 plays in a row.
One of the plays that I saw him do that I've never seen a guy do, and it just shows that he's got a head full of rocks and he doesn't understand how to play football. There's a play, it's like 3rd and 8. He's got 20 yards he can run, and he can run. He was a very good runner in college. And he decides there's a running back with his back. He's facing Zack Wilson, the running back. Mm-hmm. So the running back's not even in position to run with the ball. And he decides to flip it to the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, what are you doing? You got 20 yards of the guy's not even
that was ridiculous. He would have picked up the first down easily. It was so bad.
You just see, you're like, this guy is stupid. He can't play because he's stupid.
He's got like negative football IQ.
He's got zero instincts of the game. I watched Josh Dobbs play. And granted, Josh Dobbs is a rocket scientist. We love that story. But the plays he made with his feet, the plays the guy didn't even know anybody's names on the team. He said he didn't know anybody's names on the team. So I'm fighting with my Jet friend fans, and they're like, well, the offensive line sucks, and I don't know if Aaron Rodgers was here. They probably have the same record. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that line does suck.
A guy who doesn't know any of the players on the road won a game with probably less weapons, because without Justin Jefferson, I would say the Jets have more weapons than the Vikings. I mean, Zack Wilson is one of the. Oh, it is weird. It's weird that even that kid Badgett that came in and he's playing with the Bears, that for a guy that played in Division II, nobody even knows who he is. He has some good football instincts. It's crazy.
Are we sure that was even Division II?
I think it was Division III.
It was D2.
Okay.
Oh shit! Now I gotta go.
And he won the D2 equivalent of the Heisman.
I gotta go for one more second, boys.
Maddie, where do you keep going to?
This is for a dog.
All right, I'm just going to pause it.
Okay.
Flushed it just now.
All right, we're back. Maddie's done shitting, and we are ready to talk more sports.
I was actually walking a dog, but
Maddie, you were shitting. You left to shit.
I'm happy though because I had a big meal, and it's good to have a good bowel movement.
What was the meal, Maddie?
I made barbecue chicken with a chipwich.
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
All right, in other news, we had the Giants falling to the Raiders. Daniel Jones, just back from a neck injury, is now
the Tommy DeVito story.
Damn it! I hate loving Tommy DeVito. I hate that I love this guy.
Why do you love Tommy DeVito?
Oh, because of college. His time at Syracuse, he was awesome at Syracuse.
He actually didn't play that bad this week. It was just a game where the Raiders. I picked the Raiders to win big because they hated Josh McDaniels so much that it would have been embarrassing if they lost. So it was like their Super Bowl for their hate of Josh McDaniels. Now the stories are coming out about him. It's just killing the whole Belichick legacy.
What do you mean?
I think with how bad McDaniels look, it strengthens Belichick's legacy because the only time McDaniels looked good was when he was on the Patriots as an OC.
Well, that's Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, that too.
Belichick's looking bad too, but there's all these stories are coming out about all these people are coming out in the woodwork with these Josh McDaniels stories, and they're pretty funny.
Well, let's hear some.
Well, you heard the one about Antonio Pierce, right?
No.
Okay, so they had a team meeting the day before he got fired, and he basically let the team tell him what they think of him, and everybody ripped him a new asshole. And he asked Antonio Pierce, the linebackers coach, who's now the head coach, to say something. And he goes up there. He actually defended Josh McDaniels. And he was like, listen, we got to be in the locker room where we believe we can beat everybody. We're not on the same page. And he used he was on the Giants in 2007. And he's like, the Giants, they finished 9-7 that year. And he was like, we believe we could beat the Patriots. And we did it because we believed in the locker room. And McDaniel screamed at him and was like, don't you talk about the Patriots.
Jesus Christ.
This is out there.
I love that.
I didn't read that. I missed that one.
Yeah, this is out there, man. Then when he was with the Broncos, when he cut Cutler and he traded him, he said, don't worry, I can turn a high school quarterback into an all-pro quarterback. So I'm not sure Tom Brady likes to hear that one. There's just a lot of stories of him not seeing eye to eye with his players.
I have heard that the nicest thing McDaniels could do for you as a coach is to trade you and get you away from McDaniels because he always loves to trade away his best players.
So he has been it was a disaster, and hopefully with Antonio Pierce they turn around because it's good when the Raiders are good. They were a 10-6 team with the other coach. They got rid of him that everybody loved.
Bisaccia, baby.
Yeah. Terrible.
What's he doing now?
He's the Packers special.
Okay.
Team. So he's got a job, but he didn't deserve to get fired, and the players loved him. And that was a disgrace. I mean, I would say there's more bad stories in the NFL of bad teams, of underachievers. And then when I was in the pooper, you did mention CJ Stroud, and it is wild that him and Bryce Young were 1 and 2, no doubt about it. It was just a matter of who was going to take 1 or 2. The Panthers even traded away some really good draft picks and DJ Moore for Young, and it seems like right now they got the wrong guy. Stroud is the guy.
Stroud's the guy. Stroud is.
And you never know who's it going to be.
He's looking so good.
I mean, that's what I was talking about, but Jim. It's like he had such an elite everything at Ohio State. You're like, okay, what's he going to do when everything's not elite? And he's producing fantastically right now.
Well, it also hurt that a lot of the Ohio State quarterbacks were busts. Yeah. So you kind of go, well, the Alabama quarterbacks have been pretty good. And
lately they have been.
But you never know. You just never know who's going to be the guy that fucking figures it out and gets it. I still won't root for Bryce Young. I think he's a good kid. I want him to succeed. But he's having some struggles right now. He is better than Zack Wilson, I'll tell you that.
Is Zack Wilson the worst quarterback in the league?
Yes.
tomorrow night.
He just has he has no instincts for the game, and that defense is a one in a lifetime defense. Like even yesterday, Monday night, they gave up a punt return for a touchdown. Then they gave up a short field where one of the fumbles was to the 40-yard line, so that doesn't really count. So they only gave up 13 points to the Chargers.
They will get rid of him first thing they can in the offseason just to assure this never happens again. But we got a marquee matchup tomorrow night on Amazon Prime.
Bears, Panthers.
Bryce Young takes on Bagent.
Yep.
I forgot.
It is Bagent, whose dad is an arm wrestling champion.
Yeah.
Ooh. Winner takes it all.
You know, it's really weird.
Takes a fall.
As I'm getting older in life, you look at his dad, and I'm like, his dad is younger than me. Like I'm older than some of these guys' parents.
Yeah, remember it was weird when you started to be older than players, and now you're older than their parents. Next stop, older than their grandparents. Man.
I'm getting a little bit of that with me being the same age as NFL players.
Really how many grandpas?
There's still some COVID holdover college students here.
That
same age.
They're not quite my age.
How many?
No, one just got denied. He's 27, and how old are you, Jim?
29.
29. 29. This guy was like 27. He played at Memphis last year. Got denied finally. I'm like, yes.
How many third generation athletes do you know that you watch?
Third generation?
I can name one.
Well, technically, Muhammad Ali's grandchild. I watched.
Yeah, I guess. But did his well, here's for me is
you mean like of a direct like
like Ken Griffey Sr.
Right.
I watched Ken Griffey Jr. and then the Griffeys play college football.
Oh, Ken's kids?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess that counts, right? Because I do remember.
I'd say that counts.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's crazy.
Well, now you have the Mannings too. I mean, I don't know if you probably were old enough to watch Arch.
No, I was too young for Archie. I remember him, but I was too young.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Actually,
I never watched Muhammad Ali box either. So
so that doesn't count. But
Not
I did
quite
watch
there yet.
I watched the game that Ken Griffey and his father hit a home run in the same game.
Oh wow.
That's pretty wild.
That is wild.
I think like LeBron wants to play with his son, and that's like
that's gonna blow my mind.
He's holding on to that. But
his son's like hurt.
I'm curious to see what the Bengals do the second half because they're starting to peak. The Bills are a big disappointment. The Jets by injury are a big disappointment.
Watch out for the Jags.
The Jags are for real. I like the Jags a lot. I like what they're doing.
So we got Jags 49ers this week. That's gonna be great.
A good one.
That's a good one. There's a lot of good matchups.
Texans Bengals, so we get to see Stroud versus Burrow.
That's a good one.
Two Ohio State legends.
Yeah. Although Burrow had an interesting quote about Ohio State today.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He said he went to college at Ohio State. He played football at LSU.
That's fair. He was a backup his entire time at Ohio State. He does have a degree from him, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure he didn't go to one class at LSU.
No.
My favorite thing to always hear, and Nebraska people shared around, is that he wanted to go to Nebraska.
You love that story.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
You know what time he goes to bed at night during the season? 8 o'clock.
Was he an old man?
He's dedicated, unlike Zack Wilson.
Well, if he was really dedicated, he'd be staying up late watching film. So
yeah.
Well, there you go.
Or maybe he gets up at 3 a.m. to watch film.
Yeah, he's one of those freaks.
So what does it mean for Nebraska that Joe Burrow wanted to go there?
Oh, everyone just says like we could have gotten Joe Burrow, and then we had fucking.
It's kind of like people that
we just didn't recruit him.
It's kind of like people that go to Bears games that wear Patrick Mahomes Bears jerseys because they couldn't draft him.
Kind of, yeah.
Really, people do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's great trolling.
Yeah. That's really bad. It would be funny to do that with a team like that had a bust, like.
Well, they did.
Like if you drafted one or two,
they did. They drafted Trubisky
Trubisky
that year.
No, but okay, so it'd be funny to like
they
a
did
team that find a team that picked ahead of the Bears, and then say it was the Jaguars, and you wore a Trubisky shirt, a Jaguars Trubisky.
Oh, I
shirt,
got you.
like
So the opposite.
Yeah.
So like a Chiefs fan wearing a Trubisky jersey.
Kinda, yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah. So,
like we should have got Trubisky.
Yeah, could have been ours.
Oh,
the Steelers are a team I can't figure out because
I was gonna say that's where he's back up, right?
They play so bad, yet they win.
All right,
I'm not a big Kenny Pickett guy.
Bills Broncos coming up too. Do you think the Broncos are turning a corner here?
Yeah, I do a little. I think the Bills are completely lost. I think they have too many injuries, and yet I think they need a new coach. And I also think like a guy like Stephon Diggs is a bright guy, and he realizes like there's windows, and like that window is starting to close, and he wants to get the fuck out of there.
Sure.
Speaking of the Bills, one of my friends had the take. His take is that Josh Allen's just the white Jameis Winston.
He's better than that.
No.
Well, think of who's led the league in interceptions the last few years.
You know how close the Vikings were to getting Jameis Winston?
Think about it.
The rumor was the Vikings were so close to pulling a trigger to get Winston before the deadline, and they got Dobbs. And I thought Winston would get traded because he's got some experience. He could have gone to the Jets. He could have gone to a couple of teams that need a quarterback, but I don't know. I guess people see him as a backup.
All right. Let's move on.
Also, the other thing is they say Belichick might get fired before the end of the season.
That's that he is on the hot seat. I don't think there's any way they actually fire him in the season, no matter how bad he's doing, though.
I also agree with that.
I mean, after all those Super Bowls and everything, it's like almost just like
no, you let him retire at the end of the year.
There's no benefit to it either.
Well, he wants to coach somewhere else.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, if they come to a mutual decision, but he could. It doesn't matter whether it's now. He's not going to go coach the Raiders now. Like
he
in the middle of the season.
Coach the Bills. I heard the Commanders.
Yeah, but not in the middle of the season, dude.
No, I'm saying next year.
Sure, yes, he absolutely could continue coaching, but but to let him go in the middle of the season is probably, I just don't see it happening. But who knows?
I agree with Luke there. I don't see it happening.
I mean, if they lose this week,
not in the middle of the year, but next year he'll probably.
Yes, no, absolutely. All right. Any other NFL thoughts before we move on to college?
No, just I will say YouTube TV. I was a little skeptical before the season starts, but watching 4 games at one time,
that multi-view is sick.
It's helped me.
Has your brain adjusted?
Yeah, it's helped me gamble so much better. I'm in a pool and I'm kicking ass because I get to watch all the games and see all the teams. So you really get to see who's good and who's not. And I used to just go by like the box score and the highlights, but when you watch, you can really you can be like, you know what? One of these teams is actually not that bad. They cover, or this team is really bad.
I get why they do it, but for college, like transitioning into college, I do wish they let you select the 4.
It is annoying, right?
Yeah, like there's always one that's just a game that I don't care about. There's like 3 perfect games and then one that just doesn't seem like it belongs.
Then they won't let you put it in a certain square.
Oh,
if I'm sitting on my couch.
I want to move the stuff around.
Yeah, they won't let you do that.
Why don't you get a second TV, Maddie?
I'm getting a second TV.
iPad, so I watch. Sorry, you go.
I am getting a second TV.
I watch 4, and then I have an iPad where I can watch 2 more.
So basically, you're turning your house into Buffalo Wild Wings, right?
Except there's no big buffaloes.
And less Pat McAfee.
Right. Yeah. Oh, right. We got a lot of fucking shit going on today. Fuck yeah, bro.
Fucking shit.
Listen, I'm going to say some controversial things. We're not corporate here. If I have to take a shit in the middle of the show, I'll just pull my pants down and shit on the air.
Nobody tells it like McAfee. McAfee's dangerous.
You can't handle it.
Man.
The old guard like Luke, Mr. Bo Schembechler can't handle a cool guy like me.
McAfee's more of a threat to democracy than Trump.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I like when like anything that's on ESPN, he's like, fucking hockey is great, man. With the elbows and the sticks, it's a great fucking sport. Fuck out of here.
Reminds me when this African American gentleman tweeted out like on Twitter a while ago or a couple of years ago, it was just like he's showing clips of hockey. He's like, "Holy shit, what is this hockey? These white people have been hiding it from us all these years."
It's just they didn't get a good television contract until now.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
So I guess we'll just start off with what we cannot escape is the Michigan cheating scandal.
Oh, I'm saying everybody.
It gets bigger and bigger each week.
So now it's Michigan's going scorched earth. They say they have evidence that shows that Ohio State and I think Rutgers both coordinated with Purdue before the Big Ten championship game last year to give them Michigan signals, which in my mind is not cool, you know? So it's like, I don't know, again, if that breaks any rules. That does, to me, sound like on-field.
But do they have proof?
I think they have proof, yeah. Yeah.
I think you can, so as long as you're not using like a video device to like record it live on the field, I think it's still okay.
So why don't they just go to the headsets? It would solve this problem.
That's what everybody's saying.
So the issue,
and I think that's what this is forcing us into.
They probably will. The big issue with college football in particular is costs because it
radio Power 5.
Not in Power 5. I mean, you could just do radios in the Power 5, but then that puts the like group of 5 and everyone who can't afford them at a huge disadvantage.
Then let the Power 5 teams
during the Power 5.
Let the Power 5s pay for. They're paying millions of dollars to these colleges.
No, these guys can afford a fucking radio. I have radios at my dumb job.
How much is it? How much? I've heard it's like cost prohibitive.
It's a fucking walkie-talkie. Like
it's $1 billion to set up the system.
This technology has been around for like 300 years. The ancient Egyptians were using this.
I bet you some of the high schools can afford it.
That's how they built the pyramids. They were radioing in, telling them where to put the blocks. It's not cost prohibitive unless you go to Samford or whatever.
Hey, they're an FBS school now.
And here's the thing: if you're playing if Michigan's playing like Western Michigan in week 1 or Miami, Ohio, you're paying them millions of dollars to beat the shit out of them.
You're talking about radioing. I don't even think do they do radio on defense either?
No,
it's
no,
only
they don't.
One helmet. It's like literally you just got to radio up 2-3 quarterback helmets a game.
So you'd have to do like 3 quarterback helmets and then I guess 3 or 4 defensive ones potentially.
I don't think they do defense. I don't know.
The NFL, I mean, it depends if you're going to do it in college or not.
Sure. Okay. But either way, this radio technology, walkie-talkie technology is not.
The college football is making
nothing compared to what these programs are making.
They're making billions of dollars.
Just like even them playing a Power 5 school would pay for that technology. Like
we're talking Saturday. The network, the cable channels are begging to show.
They could have a bake sale outside of Kroger and raise enough money for these fucking walkie-talkies and a helmet. Like, my God, this is
Peacock is showing technology. Minnesota, Nebraska. They're paying money to show that shitty game. No offense, Jim.
Oh, that was a terrible game, Maddie.
They can afford fucking walkie-talkies and a helmet.
You can just say any Big Ten West team, and it's going to be a shitty game.
But I'm just saying, there's so much money in college sports.
Oh, there's a ton of money.
So what do you take? What do you? I need an outside perspective from you on this about this cheating scandal. What you've seen on both sides so far.
So the whole thing is, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Okay. I don't. I personally don't. I think Connor Stalions is crazy.
Yes.
I think it goes weirdly deep. Like the fact that he seemed to have connections with other people working in other programs.
Yeah.
And now people are alluding that he also helped Jeb Fish in Arizona.
Who denied it right away.
He denied it right away. but it's weird. It's
well,
definitely
Jeb Fish came from Michigan. Though.
I know that's why. Like
Jeb Fish, fellow chosen one, by the way. We should add.
That's right.
This guy's
a star.
I love this guy as a character. I don't buy for a second that Harbaugh didn't know it was going down, because Jim Harbaugh in particular seems like the most anal guy on the planet when it comes to his football program. But I don't think it really matters.
Okay. Right.
Like, I don't know how big of an advantage it really gave.
Well, let's put it this way. Ryan Day, who said he thought Michigan was stealing signs the first half of the game last year, a game which Ohio State was leading at halftime. Then they said they changed their signals at halftime or whatever.
And then they get blown out.
Shit out of them. So like, I don't think any of this shit makes sense. And then like Purdue, if they had Michigan signals, Michigan beat the shit out of them in the Big Ten championship last year too. So it's like
there's no world where Purdue wasn't going to get the shit kicked out of them.
And Dion, I thought said this really well too. Like it's not a really big deal if they know what's coming. You still got to stop them. But in baseball, like the Astros, if you know the pitch, then you got them. So,
but the thing with the Astros,
it's not that. Go ahead, Matty.
Even though the Astros cheated, if you take their last 4 or 5 years, their record is still really good.
No, they're a super talented team regardless. But, if you're in a close game, it will give you a definite edge, though.
The only thing I think for Michigan is it's very funny, the fact that they've had a lot of recent badness in bowl games, which people will always point to. I think that's just a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
Well, it's also but he was supposedly scouting those teams too, so it's just like, I don't know.
Jim, do you believe that Michigan got cheated on too? That you believe that other teams were cheating against them?
I do believe that people probably talked, members of staff from other teams talked to Purdue staff, but I don't know. You can't stop that unless you just don't let staff talk with team staff talk with other teams, which you can't that's not realistic.
I mean, wouldn't you say
no, you can, because that's collusion.
No, but the only way you can find out if they're not talking at all ever is just to ban them from talking to anybody.
You can't stop the collusion though, no matter how hard. How can you stop it?
Right. So how are you going to stop 100,000 people from putting up a cell phone of a sideline signal?
It's the same thing.
You and I could literally go do that tomorrow or Saturday or whatever.
I mean, I know.
I don't know. I think if they find out Harbaugh knew or whatever, it's still not the end of the world. Maybe a small suspension or something. But I don't think it's this shit where it's vacated wins and all that.
They're not gonna have to vacate wins.
No, it's fucking bullshit.
Even if they do, no one's gonna give a shit. If Michigan went, the only time any punishment would ever matter, if it does, is if someone like the Big Ten does it before the conference championship or something. If the Big Ten just we're not gonna let Michigan play in the conference championship.
Right.
They're not gonna do that.
The NCAA will do nothing. Because it's not only will they not do anything at all, it's gonna, if they do, it'll be a year and a half or 2 years from. They're still trying to investigate Michigan for the other thing.
Yeah.
The only punishment will come from the Big Ten.
All this is telling me too is NCAA is just bullshit. The stuff I mean, and I am a Michigan fan, of course, but it's just this stuff is so juvenile that they're being accused of. It's it's not, doesn't feel like it's a competitive edge that much, I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, we'll move on to
I think it would be very funny with this if Michigan won the national championship.
That would be the best.
And they could win it. They could very easily win
They could very easily win it.
I mean, they definitely have a shot, if not this year, I don't know when, but
how was Ohio State number 1, by the way?
It's just the computer, Matty. It's not voting.
It's so dumb.
No. This is voting. This is the college football playoff committee.
They have one good win against.
I thought that was this computer
where they should have.
No. That's BCS.
Oh, okay.
The committee, they just have a whole bunch of people that vote. It's probably strength of record, I would think, is what the committee would say.
But because they have one good win.
Notre Dame's a good win.
That win over Penn State.
Notre Dame's a good win, and Penn State's a good win.
Penn State sucks. You'll see.
That Notre Dame win doesn't look that great now.
When you see Michigan beat them by 14 on the road,
when Michigan beats them by 14, I bet Michigan's jumped up to 1.
I doubt
we'll see. I don't know who's Georgia got left too.
Georgia has
actually
Georgia has Ole Miss this week's a big one for Georgia.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's
Ole Miss
huge.
is a big
Ole Miss
one.
is a top 10
I can
team.
also see
Mizzou
Georgia
is ranked number 12. So I think if Georgia wins this week, that they got to be number 1.
If we go by strength of record, the committee still makes zero sense, and I hate debating. But if we go by strength of record, if we put Ohio State 1, I don't understand why Florida State's win against LSU is better than anything Ohio State did.
I agree. They barely beat Notre Dame. They won on a fluke play.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame's got what, 2-3 losses?
I think Notre Dame's sitting at 3 now.
Yeah, I had a feeling this game was going to be better than people.
Who was your Heisman? I would have Penix as my Heisman right now.
It would have. So Maddie, mine, he got hurt in the LSU Bama game. It was Daniels. Daniels looked so good.
You would have him over Penix?
I would have. Really? I would have.
I would actually have number 2, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix has been really fucking good too.
I still think Oregon can win the whole thing.
Oh, 100% Oregon can win the whole thing.
I think. Well, I think Marvin Harrison, honestly, because
honestly, Ohio State offense is nothing without
him. They might have lost a couple of games.
That is true.
He's like it for that team.
But they always take
the thing with Penix and some of those quarterbacks, they played some teams some shitty teams really low. So he's slinging it in the fourth quarter of games he shouldn't have even been in the fourth quarter.
That's Washington's issue, especially recently. Is
they're
close with a lot of bad teams.
Stat padding that way. I would just go with Harrison at this point if he continues on.
Beating Oregon was a big deal because Oregon's a very good team.
The thing though is they've looked like crap since then. I would put my money on Oregon.
Well, they beat USC. They USC had a perfect chance to upset.
USC is not a good. USC is like polar opposite Iowa, where they have all offense and zero defense.
They just fired their DC too.
Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Did you see Caleb Williams crying? Did it upset you?
I did actually. I did not. It actually made me like him more. That he's that into the game and wanting to win.
I don't know why they would spread a rumor that he wants such a horrible rumor that he wants stake of ownership and whatever.
Yeah, where did that come from? I remember Jim bringing up that.
It was just. I think it was some unfounded rumor.
Never said that.
I don't think he's even the number 1 draft pick right now.
He is.
I don't. Nah.
Shedeur Sanders, baby.
I've heard there was a scout on
same guy.
He's by far the number 1, and then
I would go with Harrison any day because I don't know. Again, I've talked about it on the show before. My buddy said, Caleb Williams would be great in a game of smear the the thing we used to say back in the day.
Yeah.
But as far as an NFL game, I don't know. You want to have really good pocket presence and be in there. And
he can though. I don't know. Some of the plays he makes are just that pylon throw that he had in the Washington game blew my mind.
No, his athleticism and shit like that, is nuts. Don't get me wrong.
You could argue he has a little bit of Manziel-ness to him with the magic that he could do.
Yeah.
But I think he also does have a very strong pocket presence.
Well, and it's also decision making too, and it's pre-snap decision making. That's fucking Tom Brady's whole career, just reading that defense and giving, taking what they're giving, and not.
Is Spencer Rattler gonna be a number 1 pick?
Oh my God, that South Carolina team just went south this season.
They look so bad.
Yeah. And they I think early on they played some teams tough, and it looked like they could have been interesting. But
last year they had a good year. Clemson's been real shit this year too.
They might not make a bowl game.
Well, they're 1 win away. I don't know who
you think they'll go with a new quarterback next year.
Yeah, probably. It
seems like there's not a lot of patience with quarterbacks anymore.
So the whole issue with fucking Dabo is he refuses to use the transfer portal.
Yeah, well, you gotta adjust, man.
It's a different game.
Absolutely, you gotta adjust, and if you don't, you're gonna get passed by.
He refuses to use the transfer portal, and he hates NIL. Those are like two of the biggest things a coach needs to be working with.
We'll see when his money starts to get threatened.
He might just quit.
He'll start getting guys.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dabo just quits and retires.
Think he'll just quit? He's got a huge contract.
I would not be surprised if Dabo retired.
He would go back to Alabama.
Yeah, he wants to go to Bama. He's probably just trying to wait for.
He could wait that out.
Yeah, because he played there.
Yeah, I definitely could see him there.
Well, he's got to get some wins under his belt because guess what? Bama's not going to want a guy coming off of a fucking 6-win season.
They're not going to want that. We had also OSU was Ohio State was struggling again this week.
As they do.
I don't know. They just have been looking shaky.
Their defense is really good. Their defense is really good.
Their defense is good. It's keeping them in the game. We had Bedlam. Was great. It was the final
great
one
game.
for a while.
How does Gundy always get his team to be really good?
Hey, guess what? They're second place in the Big 12, baby. They have one of the easiest paths to make the Big 12 championship right now.
It's
Oklahoma's
wild how good
now.
It's wild by the end of the year how good he gets them.
I love this Oklahoma State team.
And Oklahoma's starting to fall apart after their big win.
All right. Ole Miss is 8-1 now, so that's definitely making this upcoming game with Georgia.
Is that in Georgia or is that in Ole Miss?
I believe it's at Georgia.
That's going to be tough. But
it's
Georgia's
real
due
tough
for a loss. They are due for a loss.
No, it's yeah, you're right.
I loved how Missouri played. Missouri played him tough.
The issue with this is even if Ole Miss wins this game, they probably don't make the SEC championship.
They have no D. That's another problem, too. Their offense is good, but their D stinks.
If they do win this game, they could throw a wrench in the whole thing.
Don't want to be no monkey wrench.
Yeah, this is the final year of Oklahoma. Is this the final year of Oklahoma and Texas in the Big 12, too?
Yeah. So final year of this version of the Big 12, final year of the Pac-12, and last year of the 4-team playoff.
Wow. How many teams next year? 8?
12, I think.
So
I think they're going to 12.
I wish they go to 16.
All right, some other notables, we had Arizona over
fish, baby.
Over UCLA. They're now 6-3.
He's a great coach. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are. They should have beat USC too. They should be 7-2. Did you see Gronk was at the game and he was hanging with all the cheerleaders? Like, what a life he lives.
Gronk's living it good.
Army beating the shit out of Air Force too.
That sucks for Air Force. They actually had a shot to make a New Year's Six Bowl, and I think that just got knocked away from them. Now it's in Tulane's hand.
It's too bad.
They're still probably they still have a very good shot to make and win the Mountain West, which would be a great season for Air Force.
All right. Any thoughts on college football before we move on?
Been a good year. A lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Penn State, Michigan will be a great game to watch.
Yeah.
And also
Washington, Utah.
I'll be watching Georgia, Missouri. That's another big one.
Yeah. So definitely a great week. I got Saturday off, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. Tennessee, Missouri should be a good one.
Definitely not a pumpkin patch.
No,
no.
Or a turkey shoot.
Yeah, it's turkey shoot now.
Oh, God. Am I going to have to bet UCF in the letdown spot for Oklahoma State?
Mm-hmm. You will.
Ugh.
Or don't bet on it at all.
Maddie, you know me.
Yeah, I know you.
USC Oregon should be good, too. Good late night. Another banger late night game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oregon.
I think Oregon Oregon's on a mission now. I feel like Oregon's going to win by like 3 touchdowns.
I think they're going to do their best, but I don't know. When this USC offense is on, they're just like Iowa. They can score with anybody. Like
true, absolutely. But we'll see. I also feel like if you shut them down, they can't stop you. You know.
So like if you could figure out a way to rattle Caleb Williams because he doesn't have the receivers he had last year, and this team is overall way worse.
The defense is horrific.
The defense is horrific.
Yes.
But
horrific.
I'm excited for that game.
Well,
and Duke, North Carolina should be actually pretty good too, even though Duke's kind of like fallen off since their quarterback got hurt.
And North Carolina fell off too, and they were undefeated, and I was like, this could be finally their year. And then they shit the bed against Virginia, lose next week after that.
They do it this North Carolina team. They do it every year.
Yeah, Georgia used to be like that.
With how bad they've fallen off, I forgot. Miami, Florida State's this week too.
Miami's not that
see.
good.
I don't even.
Yeah, but the thing with that is like Miami always gets up for this game.
Are you? I think Miami is terrible.
Like, they're not terrible, but they're not
good. They're not good.
I guess this will tell us more about Florida State if they can handle business.
When I saw Florida State beat LSU the way they did, I'm like, this team is a fucking.
See, that's the thing. That's the weird thing with college football, though, is these rivalry games get fucking weird.
Yeah,
they do. They do. Just wait till Alabama.
All right. Well, I hope you're right, Jim, because I would love all these games
very
to be
rarely
great.
win.
Because I'm doing fuck all on Saturday except watching.
I mean, you might be able to cover a spread, but like Miami's not beating Florida State.
Well, I'm with you, man. I don't think they're beating them.
All right. We have NBA is back in session.
Yeah.
And Wembanyama is all the talk.
He's been good.
He's been real good.
Well, he's sort of been like, he had that one game that was insane where I'm like, no one will ever stop this man ever. And then he just came right back down to earth with like,
although he's
a rookie. He's insanely tall. He's a tall man.
You ever play like Nerf basketball where like you can just like reach?
Yes, that's.
Or you go to the elementary playground. You could just.
Yep, that's how I feel like it's like for him.
Yeah. No, I mean he had 38 the other night. Tonight he only had like 14 on 4 of 14 shooting, 0 for 4 from 3, or 0 of 4 for 3, 9 rebounds. So like an okay game, but shooting wise, shit. But yeah, when he gets around that rim, my God, he's got an 8-foot wingspan. It was just like, holy shit. I thought the NBA was just over. They would have to shut it down. Like, no, it's done. But he's looking a little more human now, more like a rookie. So he's going to be a little inconsistent. But he's also automatically charged with the whole offense.
How does the play-in tournament?
The in-season tournament?
Shit about this. Yeah, walk us through this, Jim.
I don't know.
Didn't it already start?
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, is it a tournament? Are there brackets? Do you have to beat a team 3 out of 5 or something? I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, I guess group play started Friday, like last Friday. Yeah. And it does 7 games. And then there's November 10th, which is this coming Friday. They play 9 games. And then Tuesday, and then Friday, and then Tuesday, and then Friday, and then Tuesday. And then the quarterfinals are in December. And the championship's December 9th. But it's just like they're playing regular games.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
And I don't think Americans are going to give a shit, but we'll see. I could be wrong.
Well, it's like tricking us because it's like, this is an important game. And you're like, oh, it's an important game I got to watch. And then, well.
Oh, all 30 teams have been randomly split into 6 groups. Each team will play 1 game against the opponents in its group from November 3rd to the 28th.
Interesting.
These games are played on tournament nights and count towards each team's 82-game schedule.
Okay.
Weird.
I don't know.
Well, Josh Primo, remember him?
No.
You don't, because he never really played. He was drafted by the Spurs. I think he was a first-round draft pick, a lottery pick even.
What happened with him?
And he had a therapist through the team, and on Zoom, and he kept somehow his dick just kept coming out during.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
he was my favorite.
Right. The funny thing with that was like it just kept happening, and she didn't like shut it down until it just happened for the 10th time, and then she like sued the Spurs, and they're like, whoa, what's going on? So the Spurs let him go, as you do with a dick revealer, and now he's done the work, and he's back. He's back. Good. The Clippers, I believe, have the rights to him. He was been a 2-way guard for them, and now I think they put him on a standard NBA deal. So
good. You can always there's always room for improvement in life.
I think he's just trying to win the championship and then pull his dick out. When he's getting the trophy,
ceremony.
It's like the heckles. Like imagine him shooting foul shots with people.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, it's like the people heckling will probably get thrown out because it's almost hard to do without disturbing other audience members. But
let's whip it out.
Yeah, God, I do therapy through Zoom. I couldn't even fathom doing that.
Why not, Maddie? Just think about it. Now, take the time and think about it. How would you get your dick out on a Zoom meeting?
Well,
very slowly.
It's just like the most unprofessional, awful thing you can do. It just makes.
Well, I think he blamed it on like his gym shorts or something. Like,
you got to blame something.
Well, he's like tall too, so it's like you figure if he's sitting down, that like it would be.
Yeah, but
I mean, as I look around, all I'm seeing of you guys is your torso and up. I don't. You guys could not have legs for all I know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's a bad defense.
All right. Well, good luck to Josh Primo.
It's not a bad excuse.
It would be funny if
you gotta come up with something.
When Dennis Rodman was fucking a girl and Carmen Electra walked in on him, he said the girls fell from the sky. So, like, you gotta come up with something.
That's like that Shaggy song. It wasn't me. Nope.
Yeah.
True. Didn't happen. So I read a good Reddit post, and it was asking the question I think that is on a lot of people's minds is how would nudity affect a baseball game?
What do you mean?
Because, all the, like, if you think of like Olympic sports, all the Greeks in them used to compete nude.
Well, it did happen.
What's that?
In the movie Bull Durham, he get his girlfriend Susan Sarandon gives him what are those things? Garter belts.
Yes.
And he has a dream. He plays naked in the garter belt. So.
Oh yeah.
That's what it would look like.
No, but I mean, like, imagine stealing a base and then you get your, a big slide burn on your dick.
Oh yeah, sliding would drastically go down.
Yeah, like imagine, like, yeah. So this is like fully nude. Like the catcher doesn't have any equipment or anything.
This wasn't on the notes.
It was on the notes.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
You got to read till the end, Maddie. That's where the good stuff is.
Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do the conversation about baseball players playing with their dicks out.
No, what do you mean? That's why not? The whole reason why I wanted to ever start this show is to have these kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
Like I just want to talk X's and O's. Fuck X's and O's. I want to talk about dicks and balls hanging out.
Out of the 4 sports, what would be the easiest sport to play naked, and what would be the hardest?
So what are the football, hockey, baseball, basketball, hockey? You can't do hockey.
No, hockey because you couldn't have skates either. Yeah.
Oh man, imagine the blade going over your dick.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the easiest would be basketball.
Yeah, I'd agree there.
But that would be hard. That your balls would be and dick would
and
be
your feet
you're slamming against your leg.
It's either the easiest two to be are either like basketball or football.
Football would be pretty rough.
The tackling would suck.
Yeah.
But I could see like on like more of a scrum type of situation, like if it's more of a rugby thing, like
they would have definitely already all changed the fields to all grass and no turf.
Yes.
And the tush push would be like a lot of broken dicks.
Whoa, you might lose a hand in there too. Like might end up the tush fisting.
Yeah, baby.
Because all that torque.
That quarterback's getting butt fucked by a running back, baby.
Jalen Hurts is going to be worn like a puppet. Just like the guy's going to have his hand up there and make him talk at the end. Like,
this is one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had in my
Maddie,
life.
It's not that weird.
Maddie, this is typical talk.
This is the hole in sports hole.
Yes.
It's in the quarterback's asshole getting fucked by a running back on the tush push.
I think golf would be the easiest to do.
Golf's not a sport.
Golf 100% would be the easiest to do.
Golf's
no, but what if you had to hit it with your dick though, because you couldn't have a club?
Oh, swimming, Olympic sports would be fine.
This is like an 11-year-old conversation. Like when you're 11, you're like, imagine golfing with your dick. Imagine playing pool with your hard dick.
Wait, imagine it though.
Yeah, imagine.
Have you ever done that? XFL Jim, you got to a pool hall.
It's in the way that you use it. Yeah. Boy, don't you know?
This is one of the greatest podcasts
of
all time.
That's why you got to stick around to the end too. We should have opened with this.
I know.
Next time we're opening with these conversations.
Good.
We're not gonna bury this shit.
Pat
People need to hear. Well, they're opening up with the dirty stuff. I don't know, man. You know, it's like you want to talk the X's and O's for a while, at least first, and then
they're saying that the NFL wants to make naked football. I am for it.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to get naked right now, except my tank top. My black tank top is sewn into my skin. I can actually never remove it.
Pat McAfee, the never nude.
Never nude.
Can never take the tank top off.
Hockey's a great fucking sport. Yeah, we know, Pat.
Welcome to the world. This guy, I hate that I can't go to ESPN's website and not seeing his face. Every page, every scroll I do, it's a new McAfee.
You can't go anywhere.
No, you can't.
He's bigger than Kelsey and T Swift.
I'm unretiring because I want to play in the nude football league. I want to punt.
I'd play the nude football league.
Hell yeah. All right. I think that's it. We can't top that.
You can't top nude football.
Can't top nude football. All right, guys.
Weird ending to the show.
It's perfectly normal ending.
That's right, Matt. I just want you something to think about before you take your edibles tonight. All right.
You know it.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.
Sports Hole!
Don't miss us on YouTube either now. Bye-bye.
Yeah.